So, good day everyone. My name is John Pulyoran and I am the first reporter of Group 6 and my topic is all about information age. So, let's start. So, first, what is information age? So, information age started during the last part of the 20th century. So, meaning to say, this is the time when getting and sharing information became really fast and easy, all thanks to computers and the internet. So this is the period when technology started to play a big role in our daily lives. So in school, work, or even at home. So now, as the time went by, people began finding new ways to share and manage information. So from the late 1960s to the early 1970s, there was just too much information everywhere. So it became overwhelming. So by the time of 1980s, this problem was called information anxiety. So may problem na develop. So what is information anxiety to be exact? So this is a case where people became overwhelmed because there was too much to learn and handle. And then by the time of 1990s, information became super valuable, especially in business, and it became an important asset, and new jobs like information officers were created to handle it. And on our time today, information is really everywhere. So you can find it on our phones, computers, and in the internet. And sometimes it even feels like we have too much information, but even so, it is very useful for us. So information help us learn new things, communicate faster, and make our lives easier. And you know what's the best part? So the information age keeps moving forward. So meaning to say that technology just keeps improving. So now let's talk about emerging fields or the new areas in the information age. So first we have the artificial intelligence or AI. So artificial intelligence or AI helps computers think and act as humans. So as you can say naman, like in our cases, so karong 21st century, like everyone is using AI to every profession. AI is very useful in us and students to manage our given task, diba? We use AI para makahelp sa atong mga task at sa mga school works. So next, there's robotics. So you know naman robotics, diba? So this is where machines can move and do tasks on their own. And then we also have cloud and edge computing. So sa cloud and edge computing naman, this help us to store and access data online. And then there's automation, blockchain, outsourcing, and software application. So these four helps make work faster, and of course we have cybersecurity to keep online and identity safe. So diri naman sa cybersecurity, this is for protection of our privacy siguro, or like against sa mga mga information that could be leaked. So to sum it all up, so information age changed how we live, study, and communicate. So it made everything faster, smarter, and more connected. And as technology keeps moving, the information age will only get better and better. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Michael Torremocha and my topic is Science and Information Age. Like the information and age gradually transform our workplace, it has also impacted the scientific community with computers and the internet. Vast amounts of information are now readily available at just a click. Some experiment can now be performed digitally using automated experimental techniques. Previously, collecting and processing data was painstaking due to its size and technical difficulty. Today, bioinformatics allows scientists to apply principles of computer science and statistical algorithm to store, process, and analyze extensive collections of data. Kardejevsky and NG through Hing in 2012. So, ang information age usa ka panahon diin nga ang mga computer og internet nga gigamit nga nakausab pag-ayos kung giunsa pagbuhat ang sistensya nga the past ang mga scientific kinahanglan nga makolekta og mag-analyze sa mga datos nga nagmanumano nga hinay og lisod karon. So salamat sa mga technology nga makahimo sila og mga experiment sa digital og dali nga ma-process ang daghang mga information. Ang bioinformatics usa ka pananglitan nga niini nga pagbag-o tungod kay giuusa niini ang sistensya. Furthermore, researchers and scientists can easily share their experimental result and recommendations, as well as access and store information using the internet. Technological capabilities have advanced more rapidly than our ability to fully comprehend and utilize them. The wide availability of information also emphasize the need for responsible generation of data and proper citation and recognition of authors and publishers. So kini sila kay mao sila nagpatinaw nga ang age sa information, ang mga scientific nga dili mga paambit sa ilang mga nahibalaan nga panokidokis og mga access sa mga information online nga naghimo sa collaboration og pagkat-on nga masayon bisan pa tungod kay kusog kaayo ang pag-uswag sa mga technology. So high-tech naman kaayo ron kay ang mga technology karon kay nagbag-o, example sa computer and internet. So dala jud sila maka-access og mga information. So usahay kay maglisod ang mga tao sa pagpadayon kung giunsa nila paggamit nga husto sa pamatasan mao nga hinungdan nga mahimong responsible nga paghimo sa paggamit sa kasayuran pinaagi sa verify sa mga kamatuoran kamatuoran sa mga gigikanan sa mga husto o paghatag sa pasindungog or original nga mga tagsulat ug mga magmamantala. So the next part is information age and cyberbullying. Words have immense power to shape people and relationships, whether spoken, written, or shared on social media. They can inspire, strengthen, offend, or hurt those who read them. Our social media have undeniably influenced recent events not only by updating us on currently happenings but also by provoking reactions. Many posts and commentaries are designed to embarrass, criticize, or threaten other, and such actions carry legal consequences under Philippine laws. It therefore important to understand the laws that protect individuals against cyberbullying. So ang cyberbullying kay gisulti nga mao kini nga pag-post nga or gina-post sa online nga mahimong adunay kusog nga effect sa mga uban ang social media nga maghatag sa mga tao nga og pagkuhag mga idea nga pagpaambit or ilang gihinahuna nga dali apan ang uban nga nigamit niini or ang uban nga nigamit sa mga social media nga pag insulto, example sa comment nga nakita og gidaot ana or kaaway nimo or imo siyang gi-post or napanudungog ka sa social media. So mao nay usa sa mga cyberbullying. So nga nailhan nga cyberbullying sa Pilipinas nga adunay mga balaod nga nagsilot. So naay mga balaod sa Pilipinas nga laws nga pwede kang kasuhan or masilutan, or sa mga tao nga makahimo sa mga ingon nga mga buhat online. Kini ang mga hinungdan ngano nga hinungdanon ang mga paggamit sa social media. So ang paggamit sa social media kay ang uban kay nigamit sila nga pangbully or uban pa nga platform sa social media. So nga masabtan ang mga balaod nga manalipod sa mga individual nga gikan sa online nga pag-abuso sa uban nga tawo.
So good morning everyone, my name is Christian Ramirez and my topic for today is fake news. So the emergence of fake news. This explains how fake news continue to spread even when truthful news is available. It shows that fake news circulates through different media platforms, both print and online. According to the Pew Research Center, younger people, especially those under 30, prefer to get their news online rather than the televisions. Meanwhile, people under 50 usually get half of their news online and the rest from the TV. The image also highlights how fake news spread quickly because many individuals share without checking its accuracy. This is often due to confirmation bias, which means people tended to believe and share information that supports their existing opinions or beliefs, even that information is false. So the next one is how to spot a fake news. So the first tip is to check the publisher's credibility. We should know if the website or author is reliable. We can ask questions like, is this site trustworthy? What is its domain name? Why wrote or who wrote these articles? And does it have a clear point of view? The second tip is to pay attention to quality and timeliness. Fake news articles usually have spelling mistakes, too many dramatic punctuations, or exaggerated titles. We should also check if the story is new or just an old one being reposted. So the third one is to check the source and citations. We can look at where the information came from, who is the quote in the article, and if other trusted sites are reporting the same thing. Doing reverse images search can also help for confirmation if the picture used are real or edited. So the next one is reliable articles. That explains what makes an article reliable or trustworthy. A reliable article is one that is often quoted or posted on other websites, which means other sources also use it because it's credible. It also mentions that we can use library database or trusted online source to double check the informations. By checking cited source, we can make sure that the details in the article are accurate and not changed just to support the author's opinion. It also reminds us to be careful with images that are used in articles sometimes. Pictures are edited or manipulated to make the story look more believable or dramatic. So the main point here is that we should always verify both the information and the image in the article before trusting or sharing it. This helps us avoid spreading fake news or misleading news. So that's all.
Good morning everyone, my name is Angel Alexa G. Cabrillas. I'll be tackling about the Lesson 2, Chapter 4, which is the Biodiversity and Health Society. So first, what is biodiversity? Biodiversity is a variety of living organisms on Earth. including plants, animals, humans, and microorganisms. There are around 8.7 million species globally, but only about 1.2 million have been properly identified and discovered. Insects are made up the largest group of known species, and many more organisms are still waiting to be discovered, according to the National Geographic Society 2020. So, ang biodiversity man good guys, it talks about the different kinds of living things here on Earth, just like humans, plants, animals, and even microorganisms, just like bacteria, fungi, and even an algae. So, it was stated na there are only about 8.7 million species ang wala pa na-discovered. Tapos, na ay 1.2 million species ang na-discovered that consists about plants and animals. It was said nga insects that are likely known to be the greatest number of species because they can most likely to live anywhere and even adapt easily on different kinds of environment. And they can also reproduce their kids quickly. Like, for example, langaw, galay, or flies, whenever they lay an egg, dili ro dyan na usa, duha, ra ka itlog ang ilang ilay. Actually, 100 na ka buok. 100 na ka eggs ang lang ilay. Tapos, iniglayan ang itlog is, mahimo na siya og larvae. Tapos, inihimog larvae, kay mahimo na pud na siya og langaw. Evolution allows organisms to develop traits that can help them survive and grow, making each species unique and recognizable. Species that can reproduce with one another belong to the same group, while those that cannot reproduce together are classified as different species. The evolution did help us change over time as the time goes by to survive a better life here on Earth. And then the greatest example of the evolution is kita. So naman daw is cannot walk properly, like upright gay nga barog, pero like ga-crawl ra sila in order to survive sa una. And then as time goes by, kay nagkahinay-hinay na ta o kat-on nga maglakaw. And with that, pag kat-on na natug tarong og lakaw, kay it did really help us to survive properly sa Earth sa una. It helped us to go hunt or even carry our stuff properly and even fight off the animal. And the second sentence naman, ang ipasabot ani kay animals can produce babies together. Like, ang hayop pod kailangan same species sila. Like, dili iro og iring. Lain sa kayo iro og iring niya. Lain ang mo gawas. So, nili na is the same nga type nga hayop. Like, nili nga a female dog and a male dog. Para in order to create a baby. Biodiversity varies around the world, with some regions having more species than others. Hotspots are areas rich in biodiversity and home to many endemic species found only in that region. Scientists continue to study, identify, classify various organisms while exploring their possible benefits and applications for society. So, ang biodiversity naman is different in every part of the world. Some places have more kinds of living things than the others. Just like the hotspots are special areas with many unique species that live only there. For example, sa mga hotspots is the Philippines. Kay Philippines has many unique plants and animals that can only be found in this country. Like, napay mga species nga wala pa na-identified sa Palawan. And another example naman sa hotspot is the Amazon rainforest na located sa South America, where home of thousands of animals and even plant species. Ang mga scientists kay nag-study ning mga living things in order for us to understand and find ways to help us and even the environment. Scientists also study the biodiversity within ecosystems, both terrestrial, like forests and grasslands, and aquatic, like rivers and oceans. Each ecosystem supports different numbers of species, from microscopic to large organisms. Every component, like producers, consumers, and decomposers, they play a vital role in maintaining the balance. For example, decomposers break down waste of a dead matter, enriching the soil and supporting plant to grow, which in turn provides food, shelter, and livelihood for other organisms. Scientists study biodiversity in different ecosystems, like whether they live from the land or even the water. So each place has its own living things, from gamay to dako nga hayop. Yeah, every part of them is important because ang producers man good, they are the ones that makes food. For example, sa producers is the plants. And then the consumers naman, which is kita, we are the ones who eat the food that was produced from the plant. Dili ra pud sa tanom ang atong ma-consume kundi ang mga hayop pod. Tapos ang decomposers naman, sila ang mo guba sa katong mga patay nga mga hayop or even the panit sa mga prutas in order to make the soil rich. This can keep the ecosystem balanced and help all the living things to live a better life.
Human activities such as deforestation, pollution, kaingin, farming, and climate change greatly harm biodiversity. These actions destroy habitats and force many species toward extinction. Scientists warn that up to half of Earth's species could vanish within the next century if no action is taken. This emphasizes the urgent need for environmental preservation and conservation to protect the remaining species and maintain ecological balance for the benefit of both present and future. So good day everyone. My name is Crystal Gian Tangaro. Today I'm going to share some important points about biodiversity and human health. First, our health depends on biodiversity. The natural environment gives us clean air, water, food, and medicine that keep us healthy. Second, biodiversity helps us secure our food and livelihood. Different kinds of plants and animals make our food supply stable and provide us with the nutrients we need. So third, biodiversity is a rich source of medicine. Many modern and traditional medicines come from plants and animals. For example, ginger for colds, lagundi for cough, and sambong for kidneys problems. However, when biodiversity is destroyed, it affects human health. It can cause diseases, hunger, and other problems in our environment. That's why it's very important to protect biodiversity, because protecting nature means protecting our own lives and our future.
Good day everyone, my name is Alan Hermosilia and I will be discussing the importance of the biodiversity in our communities and how it helps and adapt to climate change. First, biodiversity provides abundant resources and traditional and modern medicine. Traditional healers and modern drugs often rely on natural products, plants, and animals offer painkillers and treatments for diseases like diabetes, cancer, and heart problems. Millions of species are still waiting to be studied for new medicines. Second is biodiversity helps into control and prevention of the infection diseases. Loss of biodiversity can lead more diseases in humans, animals. Outbreaks like SARS, avian flu, Ebola, and others have been linked to human destruction of ecosystems. Next is biodiversity serves important roles for communities, cultural, spiritual, and social growth. It supports physical, mental, social well-being. The loss of nature increases diseases like hypertension and heart problems, while access to green spaces improves recovery and health. Next is biodiversity conservation is very important for climate change adaptation. Protecting biodiversity helps ecosystem and adjust climate change for reduce, especially floods, droughts, which harm people's homes, crops. And lastly, stable and sustainable ecosystems support relief and recovery efforts. Healthy ecosystems serve as natural buffers against natural and human-induced disasters including floods, landslides, and storm surge, among others. This can also provide essential resources for rebuilding livelihood during post-stress events. And that's all. Thank you.